Welcome back to the desk as we get ready to jump into our final match of the Knights Arena Challengers North America.
I'm going to tear up.
First split. It's coming to a close, but honestly, it's going to be a fun one. G2 versus Shopify Rebellion. At this point, Shopify Rebellion, honestly, man, they're fighting for bragging rights. They just want to pick up the win because they can't make it into the mid-season face-off. But it isn't just really bragging rights now, is it? Because that's been deceptive to us even, as there are points on the line here that go towards the end of the season. It's very important that their position go as high as it possibly can here, Sully.
Yeah, and I think with the way that the last couple games have gone, G2 have a chance to place third overall, which is a buttload of points to set yourself up for the future. Now, the way that this is set up is no matter where you get placed in Split 1, you still have a chance to make the final playoffs, but G2, a win here today would mean a guaranteed third place, and that would take over TSM, put them right underneath Guard and M80. So they would be hanging with the top dogs moving forward.
And I'm not sure who. I think that would mean they'd face off against Oxygen in the first round as we try to look towards who they could potentially play against. Right now, it does seem like they'd be facing off against Moist. But again, we'll get that confirmed by the end of the day because round differential even is going to be a thing, and you can see what we're talking about here. Look at all these point scenarios, Gus.
Yeah, let me just kind of encapsulate it real quick. On the bottom two bars, all you have to know is that Shopify are actually fighting for something today. If they lose, they're just stuck at 4 points for the circuit. Yep. But if they end up winning, oh my goodness, their point total gets doubled. And let me remind you again, you winning the mid-season playoff gets you 20 points. There are only points given to the top 4 spots, if I'm not mistaken. And, I mean, if anything, this is probably your best chance to get any decent points whatsoever. It's going to be during the mid-season face-off, where, again, of course, you'll have the destiny in your own hands.
Obviously, too, you guys are probably watching at home and being like, what are these points for? It's not like some sort of digital currency they can use to purchase anything. It's not like that. This has implications for the playoffs come end of Split 2. So there's a lot at play here. This has long-term ramifications for both teams. So G2, even though they're guaranteed a spot in the mid-season face-off, this is not an opportunity for them to try new strategies and new agent compositions as they may have teased in the past. Looking at this team, though, G2 in general does feel like a pretty strong team. They have everything they need to be potentially one of the better teams in Challengers right now. I would argue that based on the performance we've seen from them thus far, they're on par with like a TSM. I wouldn't put them in the same category as Guard and M80, but they could get there with the work.
No, and I think that they're a team that I've been saying it every time we cast G2, continue to at least push our expectations. Now, I think last week, the loss against Turtle Troop kind of resets what we think, or at least for me, it resets.
I mean, that was pushing your expectations.
Yeah, even that. yeah, I guess in that sense, right? But and G2, I think, got a lot of hate in the beginning, saying, "Oh, this team isn't gonna make it. They're not gonna be as good as they can be." But this is a star-studded lineup, and they've done everything they can to push our expectations. Now, going back to last week, one of those stars being Oxy, one of the main reasons I feel they lost that game was obviously Turtle Troop played out of this world, but one of their key players, Oxy, was just not apparent. Now, we're looking at the stats here. It's Oxy against Turtle Troop last week, his stats, and then Oxy just throughout all of Split 1, and that includes the game last week. So, for me, at least, Oxy has always been a key player, and we're looking at this guy saying, if you do that again last week and you do it during the midseason face-off, this is a guy that's going to make his team struggle. But when he performs, Bach.
I mean, Oxy against Oxygen on Haven in the week prior, 28-17 on Haven as Jet. Against Turtle Troop as Jet on Haven, 15-17. You can see the performance drop. And Oxy was one of the few players that had, he was pretty humble about the loss. He's like, hey, we didn't play well. We have a quote from him on social media. He basically just says, it was our fault. We lost. No comment. Won't ever happen again, which A, proves humility, which is huge. But B, shows, okay, we're not just going to be like, oh, it was a fluke. Don't worry about it. We were just trolling. It's like, this is serious. This matters to me. I'm going to put in the work in the next week to make sure that never happens again.
Yeah, that's the one thing I love about Oxy is that it's like, when I saw him in the first 2 weeks, I was like, yeah, this guy's good, but he's not as good as he could be. He's not that star player. He's someone that's put in the work, right? We had those 2 weeks off because of lock-in. came back, bro, absolutely blew my mind with what he could do, and he's continued to step up. And I think this tweet, again, this quote, just shows what kind of player he is. I don't know if he's commenting on the team or just his individual performance. Whichever one it is, I've got faith that Oxy's put in the work, and yeah, he's come back a better player.
Now, looking at the team they're facing off against, you have a Shopify team that honestly has been largely lackluster and somewhat disappointing, especially in challengers. I think coming into this, many people expected them to be the number 3 team coming out of the group stages just because they had so much experience together as a roster. Yes, they made a change. They swapped out Tig for Vic, but this roster's been together since January of last year. They've played through multiple stages of VCT. They have so much at their disposal. They've done well at times. In the past, they were always a dark horse, but now they were actually moving into a fledgling favorite. But instead, it just falls apart, and the group stages is just disastrous for them.
But listen, it's not like Shopify haven't realized that this season, with just one or two different little factors, this season could have actually totally gone their way. I mean, in the last game that we ended up having, Max said that, like, you know what? This actually 1 or 2 rounds and we could be 3-1 right now. We could be 4-0 right now. And I mean, there it is finally. And you could just see the anguish in it. You could tell that Shopify, with this roster, they really wanted it to get it done. But at least going into this week, at least for the end of this split, no, they're not going to be able to complete their run into the MSF. Yes, it's a disappointment, but let's actually show the schedule real quick. They are kind of right in what they're saying. 6 out of their last 9 maps that they've played have gone down to just 2 rounds. And I mean, I don't know what else to say. This really is a team that just 1 or 2 rounds go their way, and we could easily be seeing them in playoffs.
Something important, too, to consider, they have played almost the same amount of rounds as Turtle Troop. Actually, they've played, I think, more rounds than Turtle Troop, or close to it, despite the fact that they still haven't played this final series. So you can start to appreciate what this illustrates. The amount of close games they've had, Sully, it's so heartbreaking. They were always right there, but the reasons they were losing were ultimately mistakes they were making.
Yeah, I'm sitting here waiting, like, when is this team going to finally realize its full potential? Because they've been in spots like this before. I think back to when they were LG, even in LCQ, they never win lower bracket games. They've always been a team that struggles, barely scrape through at any group stage that they participate in. And, you know, it's a team that's filled with a lot of firepower. And we can talk about this guy in a second, Bach, with B-Dog and Nada, Vic. I mean, it's just so much potential in this roster that I'm sitting here and I'm like, dude, when are they going to actually play to the level that we know they can? When you have 5 players that are all extremely capable, when is this team going to just click and win every single game like we want them to?
Yeah, it's like an engine misfiring right now. You've got one cylinder that's not just doing what it's supposed to do, and when it sings and when it's finally going off in harmony, it's great. I just don't understand how it just doesn't work. It seems like they have everything they need to be a strong team, especially in the challengers level. They should be one of the stronger teams here, but it just doesn't seem to be clicking, and I really hope that they can figure things out as they look forward to the next split. But again, points on the line. There's still stuff here. They still have to end with a high note here. But, you know, we talk about the players on this team. Moose and Dazzle on this team are actually former teammates of one of the players on the other side. We're speaking specifically of Dapper going back to an E-United Counter-Strike roster that played together for a significant period of time. And we actually had a chance to talk about this matchup with Dapper. Let's take a look.
Michael Galino, Dapper, Sentinel, G2 Esports. Individually, I think I just want to focus on having impact through my lurks and getting a whole bunch of information for my team to make our job, or Shaz's job, easier, so he can make the most impactful calls, because I feel like to make the best calls, obviously you want as much information as you can on the map and knowing the other team's setup. So that's pretty much all I've been doing, is focusing on how to get the most value out of my kit. I feel like I know when to mix it up. I feel like a lot of Sentinels now, at least in NA, they kind of just play their role, and they play it well, but I feel like they miss out on like additional value, as I would call it, where if they're always doing the same thing and they're giving the same look, there's always opportunities to extend and maybe overextend and get way more value than you would just constantly doing the same. And I feel like I'm very good at realizing what looks I'm giving and how the opponent perceives me, and then just kind of punching them in the face in like a completely different direction. I think I would say Shopify. I'm most excited to play for our remaining matches because we have the most history. They're the longest standing team. Oxygen and Turtle Troop are new teams obviously into the scene. So while they're like kind of cool and it'll be interesting to play them, I always want to see if we could still, hold up to what I'd assume is the best out of the three. Looking forward to the end of the group, it seems like Shopify would be the hardest. Yeah, I think Shopify is a pretty strong team. I played with most of their players before. I played with Moose and Dazzle for a long-standing time. They're some of my really good friends. I know how they like to play. Like I said, I played with Dazzle for a long time, and he's their IGL, so I feel like I know how they like to call and play around the map. And I feel like once you kind of crack their philosophy and you kind of know what they're doing, it's easier to play against. But at the end of the day, they're all really good players. They all know how to shoot back, and they know what kind of looks they're giving, so it's always a fun match. Yeah, I would just say the only thing I'd say to SR is that we beat them with Shroud with 1 day of practice, so...
You gotta love the confidence there,
Yeah.
saying, "Oh yeah, we beat them last year with Rob with 1 day of practice, no big deal." Obviously, they were a different team than this G2 roster, but still, he mentioned it. He's played with these guys before. He knows what to expect from Dazzle, who used to be his in-game leader once upon a time. He has an idea of what they bring to the table, and that's not just in previous games. That's also in Valorant itself, because he mentioned one of the oldest rosters playing in Challengers. Just one change. We even talked about that coming into this split. And that's really going to play out when we start taking a look at the map picks and bans, because he's going to know potentially how this team approaches every single map. There is so much tape, Sully, to go off of.
Yeah, I'm looking at this map pool and I'm wondering, Shopify, we have seen you play Icebox. I don't think they're the best on Icebox, and that was 3 months ago they played Icebox. And G2 very recently beat FaZe Clan 13-4 in that first series. That was a really big upset for a lot of people. And so I'm looking at this map pool and I'm thinking, dang, this is a very favorable map pool in my opinion for G2. Again, reciting the words that Tig gave us about this split side of G2. He said the only map we were impressed by with G2 was their split. So the first 2 maps between 2 maps that G2 have solid records on worries me a little bit for Shopify.
And I mean, we're looking at a G2 that pretty much has this entire map pool down pat. We are not only seeing G2 already play, I want to say 5 out of the current maps already, but they're playing the very last map that they haven't played currently in the pool, which is Lotus. I mean, if anything, that's just giving more fear to these players, to these teams that are going into playoffs and being like, okay, how can G2 actually be that confident on every map to at least pick every single one, to at least win on almost every single map so far, except for Fracture?
Now, with Icebox, this is interesting. We were talking about it before when we were in the break. It's one of the few times we've even seen Icebox. It was played in the early weeks, but since the map pool changed, we haven't seen it played as much. It's been played 4 times to date in this first split. This is the 5th time. So it will be interesting to see what teams bring to the table, especially a team like Shopify, because yes, they haven't played it in quite some time, but that's actually the case with a lot of these teams, as Icebox became a map that some teams just really didn't feel comfortable on. I'm curious to see how they've changed with this this map pool, if they've managed to put work in on Icebox, because we talked about it, at previous points throughout the group stages. Even on maps where G2 isn't fundamentally sound, individually they have a lot of strengths. So scary team to play against.
Yeah, that's probably one of the things that you wonder with G2 moving forward. It's like, I think a lot of people look at this group as kind of maybe the weaker side of the 2 groups. And so when G2 do get to the MSF playoffs, it's how do these guys individually fare against the rest of the teams there?
Well, it is Agent Select time for our first map in the series. Again, it's going to be Icebox, which is one we haven't seen in some time. I'll see you guys on the other side.
Our final series of Split 1 of the Knights Arena Challengers. It is G2 against Shopify, and I feel it's kind of fitting. We started with Icebox for G2, and we are ending with Icebox for G2. We also started Split 1 with G2, now we're ending Split 1 with G2. We've come full circle. This team has definitely exceeded expectations, and I think Shopify on the other side, they kind of fell short on a lot of them, Gus.
Absolutely, but this is a brand new start for them. Listen, Icebox is a map that they floated all season. There hasn't been a single game where Shopify has banned Icebox at any point, and for the last 2 weeks, both Moist Moguls and FaZe Clan pulled out the Icebox bans as their very first bans.
Yeah.
So Shopify, they might have actually had this pick this entire time.
We are seeing some slight changes between G2 and Shopify from the last time they have played. We've got a Jet instead of a Raze side of G2. And then for Shopify, it's a complete overhaul. They were playing with a Fade and a Reyna and a Jet. I don't care about that competition. I'm looking at what they've got now. They've made some major changes in Shopify. Again, this game is all about placement for them. How many points can they get out of this last game? What are they looking for here? It's Shopify. I feel the expectations, there's none. What can they do here? There's nothing to lose. They're just trying to play to maximize their position moving forward.
G2, however, they're currently in third place if they end up winning, but if they lose, they go all the way down the pipeline to just about 6th place. It's a slippery slope as over towards mid. Oxy already starting things off on the icy map of Icebox. A couple of cold shots as, again, he was all the way out in the open. Anyone could have been able to get in for a trade.
Decent bit of space here that Mod has taken up over on A. He's going to be a lurk player here. And the rest of Shopify will start to lean now to the B side of the map where there are 3 players here from G2 already lined up. Oxy not too far for rotate as well. And Whippy still has a snakebite left to play with as well to deny the spike when he's got an orb already on site as well.
Clearing out any util if the KJ was here. That Molly is actually so good. It stretches right to the edge of the planter. They can't do anything. Mata lurking all the way over on A, potentially pulling in a rotation or two, or at least keeping these players here on the A side. But again, it's still pistols. Still very much advantage just for some 1v1s.
They do get one pick onto the side. Nice shot from Vic. He's going to play back towards yellow. Still a 3 versus 4 with the advantages lying in the side of G2. You're going to have Dapper as well looking to make a crunch happen. And that's what G2 are waiting for. See what Dapper can find on this flank, if anything at all. And Shopify, they're kind of corralled back towards yellow. Thankfully, there's no util, but there is still a wall for Penny.
There's Penny. Wall is there. They have to swing. They have to swing. They have to swing. B-Dog would have been the one to do it. Now they're finally through. And G2 funnel them all towards the wall, and it ends up working.
Yeah, weird engagement there from B-Dog. I think if he gets that kill, he's got a chance to swing onto the diffuser. We'll see here in the replay if we have one. But G2 picking up that first round. Shopify, I felt looked a little bit lost going into that exit. Didn't really have any control towards B-Min. Yeah, we do have the replay. I think we'll see in a second B-Dog's fight, but tried to break the wall down. The orb as well on the spike, giving a huge health advantage to G2 as well in that post plant, making it just a little bit easier.
I'm going on into the next. We are going to see that dive from Oxy be kind of arched or anchored back over towards A.
And Oxy, a player that, looking at his performance last week, kind of a shell. And I mean that literally going up against Turtle.
Yeah, a little bit, huh?
Of what he has been and what he can do. So I'm kind of using this game for G2 as a benchmark, saying, where is Oxy? Where's the rest of his team performance-wise? Because we're only a week away from the playoffs from MSF. And I'm wondering, okay, G2, a lot of these guys, as Bach was saying in the pre-shows, there are a lot of individual-based players. And a lot of them are individually excel when it comes to any given series. So you haven't played against the best of the best yet. M80 and the Guard and TSM, all 3 teams that I think people would rank in the top 4 going into MSF. How does G2 fare? And I think this is a good benchmark because, as Dapper was saying in his interview, he does feel like Shopify are probably the biggest contenders in this group.
Again, which is crazy to say because
they're not
this
even in
team
playoffs.
they're currently in last right now in the group. But again, G2's always that type of team, always been that type of team to surpass our expectations. At the beginning, I mean, G2 were barely cracking the top 5 in terms of power ranking.
Early dart towards mid is going to give G2 a lot of control there. Knife for Shopify. He's going to take B making sure. I think we're going to end here in a B hit. The spike is leaned here. They threw that early knife to try and figure out if anyone is pushed, what control they have over towards B. But this is Shopify, who aren't really looking for map control, and they didn't do it in the pistol either. They kind of just blank hit in towards the B site. I think that's what they're going to do here. And it doesn't actually end towards B. It looks like they're going to shift back over with a minute left towards A, where, again, 3 players are already waiting. Shazam is in a good spot to use his shock darts. Penny still has his wall to isolate where the push comes from. He could force him all to Jenny Oxy with a great shot.
And such heavy presence, too. The knife is going to catch at least 2 of them, but they still have shock darts to try to cover up. Oxy, more importantly, is in the back line, ready and raring to go, looking to play off a Radiant Knight. Sharp as ever. Oxy with yet another headshot.
Lovely shots from Oxy. The wall up as well, as I was talking about, to funnel
for more.
Over towards the slow war, but Oxy, he gets the heal and he's going to look for more. Same thing with Penny. Yep. This is what we wanted from G2. A team full of individual aimers, and G2 will take round number 3 in relatively clean fashion.
Penny on his stint in version 1. It was a rarity to see this guy out of the top 2, out of top 1 in terms of frags, in terms of KDA, in terms of really any stat that you could look at last year as both a duelist and an initiator. But this year, we haven't really seen that sort of impact from Penny. Have we needed to see it? No. They're currently 3-1 for a reason. But when it comes to playoffs, when it comes to those big clutch moments,
oh, here's Oxy.
still looking to see that potential from Penny.
Up top here on yellow. He's got a couple players funneling into him. He holds his trigger.
Well, he's just waiting.
Doesn't take the shot. Doesn't land anything.
Almost
It's a
good.
tag on Amada instead. It's a fast play from Shopify leading into the B site.
Okay, 2 opportunities for picks. Both of them don't come to fruition. Whippy feeling the pressure of an Allo drone. The wall is going to go down. Do they have a molly to use? Absolutely they do. But B-Dog is just going to play it right in the middle of the molly. Dapper easily finds him. It's still just Stingers alongside the 1 pistol of Moose trying to get this plant, desperately trying to get some extra cash under their belts.
Through it.
Why not push through? Why not push through? Vic getting 2. Dazzle with another one. Oxy now has to dance. Pulls out the Blade Storm, looking for one around the corner. Doesn't know about the man on top. Does not know about Vic. Vic? What? What was that dash from Oxy? The redirect is insane, and now Moose in a 1v2, and Whippy is the one that takes him out. The chip damage from Oxy is there. It's like Oxy is just in a playground.
This kid is insane. I don't even know what he wanted to do there. A YOLO dash? I don't know. But he somehow makes it work. When his team goes down 3 players, Oxy doesn't lose his composure.
Look at this jump.
So quick, dashing into the box. And he didn't even know if there was a player there or not. He took the gamble, and the gamble worked out so well. Shopify will take a timeout to try and figure out what they need to do to get rounds on the board, because G2 in these 4 rounds, I think outside of that last one, have been in full control of every situation.
Now we actually focus up on the guns of Shopify. What can they possibly do? Coming up into the next, we haven't seen much pressure, much early round pressure from G2 in terms of map control. Shopify have been relatively let go to just hunt wherever in the map they want to go. But when it comes to those spike plants, it's been basically impossible.
I think Shopify's trying to figure out how they want to work this null command into a hit. Although there isn't much to counter and much to cancel from G2. Maybe the wall, no ultimates that they really need to be wary of just yet. So Shopify, they've got the ult advantage right now. Not the economy advantage, is certainly not the round advantage. But I think one of the issues was the lack of map control. Big Snipe, I think this goes towards Kitchen if I'm not mistaken, which would land on Dapper. Dapper actually evades it if that's where it was going to go. We'll see in a second where it likes to land. Yeah, Dapper's going to avoid it. Catching instead the Viper, and that'll charge them up towards Tube. They're hoping that, okay, with no knife tag, there's no turret here.
But it will be the turret tag.
And that pulls a player away. It moves Shazam off a boiler, forcing a drone reclear. So they're drawing Yuto out of this team from G2. But are they going to be able to capitalize on it? Because they don't have much map control elsewhere.
That was a tough decision to make. Surely Dapper wanted that peak. Staying safe for now. Again, that alarm bot under tube has not been triggered. Information over towards mid, not being taken up at the moment. They could be anywhere, but they have to break. The knife over towards Snowman. Again, that's just some information back to G2.
Dapper.
Dapper does get the one. Big one on Mata. It will be able to get the plant, though, finally.
He was able to get on a snake by a second as well to kind of limit the planting positions, maybe delay it, which he did. Look at that swing. No flash, just a triple swing as well. One from Snowman, two from Orange. Leaves it on to Moose and B-Dog.
It's just tragic that they were caught out in the open like that. No trade potential whatsoever. Nobody else from site could be able to help that one. Moose and B-Dog both stuck in main. B-Dog gone. My goodness.
What a
G2
retake.
just continue to waltz.
Best are flawless in this retake. That is unreal from G2. Shopify, no response, no opportunities to even win gunfights. Two players push Snowman, and there was 3 players ready for them. Shazam up top, Penny down low, Whoopi towards back Snowman. G2 are playing extremely clean here, and I think Shopify overextending in that round. Not having timing with the wall, not ready for anyone up top. Gonna try and force up Stingers and a Bulldog to make something happen. These execs have been empty-handed for Shopify.
Shopify are going to try to get some sort of map control back over towards B main. They did have the knife line up, and it's a good one at that. Viper gets triggered, but the worst thing is, though, they don't know that this KJ util is all over it. Look how debilitating it is.
Whippy's going to swing off it as well, or probably drop a snake bite in response. I think with the time now, he's probably just going to hold the gunfight, take the swing. He's got his Viper's orb up as well.
This angle is so good, he could just play off the alarm bot.
Dapper's got his back as well. Yeah, alarm bot, nano swarm. He knows what's coming. They're going to be damaged up already. They break it, actually.
They tried to get it. Tried to get the nano swarm. Whippy does take the advantage to get 2, but that's all that Shopify wanted. One for ones.
Decent trades, though, for Shopify. They're going to get the res up as well. Trying to punish it with the Hunter's Fury.
No!
Mana will get caught in the middle of it. No other tags, but that's back to a 3-on-3.
Yeah,
there was
Spike
some
is
danger. Now it's kind of alleviated.
And they fake the plant too. Penny coming around the corner, not able to find anyone or not able to even react to anyone. They're still looking for this control. They're still looking for this B plant. They're still looking to play around the Sage wall. There goes Dazzle, and Penny just had the angle. Penny with 3.
6-0 start to G2. I mean, yeah, this was a team that we saw in Icebox play extremely well. They made some comp changes, put Oxy on the Jet instead. I think that's one thing that G2 realized, that Oxy's just much better on the Jet. Him on the op as well is a scary, scary prospect. Shopify with a buy, approaching the A side. This time with a little bit of pace, no default around. They have a Hunter Series. They're going to try and get the Viper Spit down as well, but Oxy's going to greet them with the Operator. See who he can pick off. Take
Just saying, by the way, even though Oxy played Raze, by the way, he went 17-10 the last time he played this map on this side. Guy goes absolutely nuts on defense. He loves the op, but now he loves to dash in with it too. Not going to be able to get one, though. Missed shot for Oxy. Still looking for more. Still has the pistol and still has a player above. Good cover from Penny.
Doesn't miss the second time around. And now they're just trying to defend this lockdown. I think B-Dog thought he could get the jump on them, but now we're in a 5v2 with the res. Spike down, and the post fence not looking good.
Yeah, surely no chance.
Oxy.
There goes Oxy. Oh my goodness.
This kid is actually a freak. What was that?
This is the same sort of confidence that we saw from Oxy 2 weeks ago, right? Where the guy just started absolutely popping off, just started treating Haven and Split like a playground against Oxygen.
This guy's having fun. Oxy. Confidence. Okay, to take the re-swing, by the way. And in a 5-on-2, literally just jumps. I can't believe that he's got the guts to do that. I mean, G2 are playing for points, and Oxy says, I want all of those points. And he's playing out MVP. Of this world right now at a 7-0 start. Is he going to updraft onto the box and op?
No?
I thought he was.
still very much scared, though, for that mid pick. Moose staying around for just a bit too long. What contact do they actually put up in either mid or A? It's only the turret in A main, but nothing in mid.
Whippy's got the alarm bot set up here again. We'll see if it gets spammed out by Shopify like it did a couple rounds ago. He's got a Viper's Pit as well. Mata's got a lockdown to utilize. Shazam has just been given free ground.
Nano Swarm to delay.
I don't
On site
understand.
too.
Shopify are just giving up all this space.
Viper getting shut down. Can't use mollies.
You know where he is too, yeah.
Oh, that Nano Storm is crazy. Can still play a little bit, though. There goes Dapper. Dapper was waiting for the prime opportunity to pop his nanos. And indeed, they all funnel towards him. Here comes the flank that we were already setting up for 15, 20 seconds ago. They've given Shazam this position, and they give him the damage. 5 HP left on Dazzle, 15 left on Mata, 20 overall for the team. It should just be it. Surely Mata
30 seconds left.
looking to play out their life, looking to distract for Dazzle.
Trying to get Dapper some more ult points here as well in a second. Penny will take one for the res, but
It works.
oh my god, Dazzle's gonna make it. He's gonna
That's
get
what I'm saying.
plant. 5 HP in a 1-on-3. I think the way things have gone out, I don't think he wins this.
10
Maybe
seconds
Dazzle's
not?
got some cooked. I don't know. Crazy double shock that lands on all three. If he does, I'll be astounded. We'll see. Dazzle to cook.
for you.
Yep, double shocks, 5 HP. That doesn't sound impossible at all. Dazzle, here we go. Looking to shine here, Dazzle. Dapper coming around the corner. Would have been the right start as he had isolated one, but just one bullet on the fly is able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, we looked at those stats earlier. A lot of the games that Shopify had were in OT, where they lost 11-13s.
Oh, no, you don't
And you look back at the Moist game, and you wonder, had one round gone differently in that extremely close series, Shopify would be playing for mid-season face-off. But this is just a shadow of what we know Shopify can be. Those close scorelines to an 8-0 start from G2. I mean, Dapper and Oxy are playing out of this world. Oxy in particular is playing with the utmost confidence right now. And Shopify have not been able to find a response. They have so many gaps in this default. Shazam gets down mid, Oxy gets a free pick. No trades are there. And now G2 are going to use Whippy's Viper's Pit
Finally.
to hold down the A site.
I mean, yet another hard win condition right here for G2.
Oh, and the thing is Mata can't really use the lockdown because look at where this Viper's Pit extends to.
It
He
hits
doesn't
right on it.
know. Yeah, he doesn't know if Mata is in the spot where he wants to throw it down. Someone needs to clear that. Someone needs to flash clear this.
Not even, he
Some
just
pipes
goes in
instead
anyways.
use
They could spray him down if he wanted to, but there goes the lockdown. They're not even tempting the Viper's Pit right now.
Shocks don't break it, so they're gonna have to back out of sight. Viper's Pit gives up all this space. No one gets caught in it, so G2 are hot on their tail for a 5-on-5 retake. But there is still Moose's Viper's Pit as well. Have to keep that in mind.
Absolutely, finally. Again, like I said, win conditions. Yes, they are prevalent for G2 and not so much for Shopify, but they finally get one. Finally, the Viper's Pit up in the middle of sight. Whippy, yes, able to get one onto Vic. B-Dog finally going for the plant. And is going to stick it. That Viper's Pit is going to stay there for a bit. Shazam, however, random shot onto Mata, able to get it. Moose is going to stay back towards spawn. I mean, that's a long, long Viper's Pit. They realistically have no idea where this Viper is. In the middle, though, it's B-Dog. B-Dog looking to pop. Oh, no, B-Dog.
Shut up.
No.
Oh my god.
No. B-Dog, what just happened there, buddy? Penny, not able to defuse. Moose is going to be the last one remaining. The molly works. 1v1. Whippy is just going down bit by bit. Moose saves the round with an EP clutch.
Okay, at least they win
B-Dog
the
all
round.
good.
8-1. Shopify will get a round back. What? I don't want to watch that back.
Nope.
We're gonna get it
Okay.
back. I want to see it. Just watch. Let it sit. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. That's gonna hurt for B-Dog.
My heart.
As well for someone that is and has been a top performer. He's like he's top 10 in every single category. If you check the
Literally.
VLR stats. So that's a rare whiff from B-Dog.
Very.
They will get around to the board. 8-1. They did take 2 ultimates, and so how replicable is that?
Should be a bit difficult, but actually they did a good job of dealing.
Look at where Shaz goes here. He gets onto the ultimate. Base checks mid, doesn't see anything. Now he's in a spot where the ult can reach both A and B. Provide support. Oxy plays back towards the E-box or the generator, whatever you want to call it. He's going to look for anyone that approaches. Slow down the push as best he can, but he does get forced away.
They dealt with the site pretty well last time. This time, actually, they're pulling up a wall in short. They don't have any sort of control right now of A main. And the counter wall once again, an even better wall. Good job, SR. But again, they still have to control backside. Penny, here he goes, able to get one. No, again! Low HP on one man of the front, couldn't get a trade in. Dazzle just goes down immediately, but good shots coming back from Moose and Vic.
Oxy missing the shot on Vic.
What is this for Oxy?
You still have Penny in the middle of sight. 27 HP, Vic is still fighting.
30 seconds left.
Hunter's Fury doesn't get popped, so the plant can go down, but Whippy, look at the HP on two of them. B-Dog doesn't have the heal, and Vic just barely escapes that snake bite.
Spike planted.
B-Dog almost got hit too. Had to go through a wall. Finally able to get one. Oh my goodness, Vic gave him that.
Oh my god.
Whippy has whipped it all the way back to a 1v1. Whippy doesn't even have... Or excuse me, Moose has a molly. Whippy doesn't have any util here.
And there's no way it hits. He's got to
The toxins are gone. Moose, is he gonna swing? Uses the molly first. Gets Whippy off of it. Nobody missed! Whippy in a 1v3! That is wild!
How does that happen? Whippy picks him apart. 1v1 just gifted to this guy. Vic jumps up top in the nest. He goes down. Then he isolates the next. B-Dog in no position to get support here. And I have to say, this is Shopify not playing this post plant as well as they could have. That is the sixth retake from this team of G2.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I was mentioning early on, it was difficult for Shopify to even get that spike down. But once they got over that hump, once G2 just realized, I mean, these guys are down to like 3 guys after post plant every time, 3 or 2. It's just getting easier and easier to just put Oxy in choke point, put either Oxy or Penny in choke point and profit. In Shopify, they thought they got through it.
They thought they did, yeah.
3v1, dude.
Whippy does it again. I'm still thinking back to that, like, I forget who they
4v1.
Yeah, that 4v1 that spray down he got.
Actually,
G2.
that doesn't happen, dude.
Yeah.
The butterfly effect is crazy. G2 would be fighting for a playoff spot right now.
Thinking all the way back.
And this is just 2 weeks ago.
Down by 8 rounds. Had a chance to get 8-2, but now G2, I have to say that this first half is about minimizing damage for Shopify. And I don't think it's going to come in the form of this round. The best you can get is 9-3.
Oh
and
my
Oxy
goodness.
just wide swinging into him. He's not
He's
going
going
to
for
miss those
more.
kind of shots.
He's going for more. He still has knives if he really wants it, if he really wants to style around. This really just, that's what it seems right now. This is the Oxy highlight reel and we're living it.
Poison's off.
Would be again in the same spot, but this time no alarm bot. Dapper did go down, so he's just got to hold the angle. Players could walk up on him, and he's wary of it, that he has to double check. Only rifle that they had is gone. Oxy's taking full control of mid. They know this is a B hit. They just don't know if there are any lurks on A right now.
Oh, the Molly's not going to be able to hit. Okay. Spike plant, actually. Oh, Shazam! Still tracking B-Dog. But still, okay. Shopify, I guess. In these sort of positions, I mean, Vic, he has a bit of a headshot magnet. Same with Mata.
Ooh, almost gets dazzled. Slow over a little bit. Oxy, what the heck?
Now Whippy just needs that trade. Easy trade at that. And oh my goodness, Oxy.
Just running, drive by him. I think it mainly looks impressive just because of the fast camera switch. But yeah, that looked gorgeous from him. 10-1 G2. There's really no chance for Shopify
Round before the switch.
to pull this first half back. It's all about the second half of the defensive side. See what they can do. But I mean, Moose goes for a really risky swing. It's a big gamble that if you land the shot, it looks great. It looks amazing. But it was a gamble that he took with being the only hero rifle. And then they had to move forward with just sheriffs and a marshal.
Oh, Okay, all right. This is G2.
This
Like
is a
I said
double up.
before, they're having fun with it. This is a playground for them. Double up, and it's Shazam with the second up.
Dude, he used up, man. He's got this.
Yeah, I know he did.
Okay, maybe he shouldn't up. I think Oxy
Oh,
hits
yo.
those. I'm just saying, I think Oxy hits those. Let's see if Oxy does hit one.
They picked Oxy up for a reason, for his
they
upping
picked-
skills, not
Yeah,
Shazam's.
the reason why Shazam is on the team is for his IGL, not because of his opping capabilities. That's what Oxy's here for. Let's see what he's got cooked up, because there are a couple players leaning over here. I think the op from Shazam, though, you know, he was good when he used it on Sentinels in tandem with Hens, but make way for Oxy here. The double op is mainly to just hold Boiler down towards mid. I hope he's got another weapon with him. The alarm bot does get broken though, so
Maybe.
he has to call Dapper over to kind of hold this position as well.
Now, if he does have another rifle, though, he can easily rotate back into kitchen, back into A.
Whoa!
There goes the first pick, though. Anticipating the whole time the pop-off from Oxy, but here comes the Hunter's Fury covering up the revive, too. They're making the exec. They still have 30 seconds. They still have a bit of time to actually make their way into the back of sight, but they get the picks they need anyways.
Hunter's Fury took down the lockdown as well, so we're looking at G2. Are they going to give up a second round here? Shopify have earned their way onto the A site. Now it's about closing it out here. And the post plan is good. They've got players on site. Dazzle play with
Wait
a
a
single
minute.
shock dart, though, might be an issue.
These positions are crazy for Shopify. Could be well to isolate for G2, but they had no idea about B-Dog. Good element of surprise, putting up 2 in the back of sight instead of just the 1. And now B-Dog fighting around, getting Shazam. Whippy needing to whip up a 1v2, but it won't happen. Shopify sneaking away a second. Okay, we have a game.
Oh, now there's hope. If they win the pistol, they're winning the game.
Clearly.
But in all serious, G2, this was their half. Through and through. Oxy, you'll see here in the highlights, it's mainly just going to be him. Played extremely well. And I think Dapper as a side anchor as well was really, really solid. So putting Oxy on this jet, you can see kind of just how much freedom he has movement-wise. He's getting in aggressive spots, able to dash out. And this was G2's half. This was G2's map. They first played it against FaZe. Granted, this is picked by Shopify. You want to see a little bit more from Shopify on this defending side, and we'll see what they've got for us, if anything at all, in this pistol.
It pretty much just comes down to the pistol. And Shopify, okay, they're throwing it all into the pistol. All of their efforts right into the mid side. It's going to be 1 and B to potentially try to distract, to
They're
maybe
so
cover
fast.
up, but he doesn't have mollies.
They're all here. Shopify have made a fast rotation through Orange. And they're on the site already. This should be a plant, though, I imagine, here for G2.
Oh, they
are
actually
taking
do
the
break the
plant
wall.
down. No, they don't. Moose cuts him down.
Not only breaking the wall, but yes, getting the kill onto Penny. The plan has not gone through. There's a gap in the wall. Are they going to stop the plan again? No, they don't, but they definitely get the kills. Shopify Rebellion, only 1 away from completing. Finally, a flawless round. A couple of pistol frags to go. The molly in the middle of sight actually picking up the only kill of the round. But Shopify Rebellion, the all-important pistol round.
They get something going. 10-3. A big gamble. Push down towards mid. The pistol strat works out. Now, maintaining that success is the key figure here for Shopify. For a guy like B-Dog, who boasts always a strong stat line in every single matchup, win or lose, I'm just getting flashbacks to the whiff he had on Shazam, and I'm thinking, dude, this is not the B-Dog that we know. That's a kill that he gets 10 out of 10 times, so not to bash at him for, but I think that kind of speaks to his performance in that first half and how we expect a little bit more from this guy. Step up to the plate, and maybe there's a comeback on the tables for Shopify. I don't want to jinx it. I'm just going to say there isn't.
Yeah, no, maybe it doesn't have to be Bomb Mule anymore. Maybe you can just focus on just tapping heads at this point. Of course, would like to expect someone that has pretty much top 10 in almost every stat line in VCL
Like this setup here from Shopify.
to be able to
Dazzle's
do
gonna
something
take
in
the
this
lead.
position, but Shopify.
Vic will have the flash there. Counter him. Or as soon as any contact's made, flash, he swings, Dazzle looks away, and then he fights. But Oxy up with the Marshall. We know how good he is with this gun, how good he is with snipers in general.
It would be tough,
This
but it might actually be a possible 1v1 against between him and Moose.
It's a pop play, so I'm kind of worried here for Shopify. Oxy gets his kill.
Yeah, and there it is. Oxy does pop out. B-Dog, there you go. B-Dog wasn't even one hit away from the Marshall. He gets hit by the Marshall there, and he stays alive. Penny, Dapper, Whippy, still alive. Dapper is, however, actually making a bit of an adventure over towards the A site.
Dope turret. Peeks through the actual entrance of Nest. Dapper gets caught out. This time Shopify gonna keep another investor flawless. 4th round there for Shopify. And, you know, winning the pistol was the key thing, but winning the one after cleanly I think was even bigger. Maintaining those guns, maintaining momentum.
Yep.
And it will be G2 who have the full buy back into round number 15. Shopify, they do come in with 3 Bulldogs, so they're going to have rifles to contest with. I think that's the big thing to look out for, is that they made big investments in a dire situation so that if they won that second round, they could compete with G2 on a firepower level. That's what they are doing here.
I mean, that's it, really, Shopify. These players over the last 3 years of Valorant,
Take flight.
seeing them all match up in Tier 1 against some of the best players. Now here they go. They try to make a bit of a retake. They do have that util still on site off of Mata, and Mata takes full advantage. Pops right in, takes down Penny, and he pops right out again! Yet another kill from Mata!
This is getting a little bit claustrophobic here for G2. Not a lot of room for Oxy to work with. The alarm button and the nanostorm's eliminating space for him to play with. Now Oxy, how does he pull this team back? They're still going to approach the A site, but there are already 4 players here, and Shopify already on the doorstep for this retake.
Spike planted.
It's just surprising that they actually do get the plant down, but again, this is all that Shopify were compensating for. They want to go in as a team. Oxy around the corner. No chance against B-Dog. No chance against 3 different players swinging him. Same thing with Dapper, and it's going to be the same exact thing with Shazam. 5 players staying alive here for Shopify. And actually, the Rebellion train is going.
Absolutely. Shopify are back in this one. 10-5 is a very manageable scoreline, especially now that G2 have been reset. You look at a 10-6 here. That was a effortless retake from Shopify. Patient, didn't overextend. And all 5 players flooding in together to make that retake happen. Big shots, though, from Mod in the opening stage. I don't know where he gets the second wallbang from, but catching the planner of Penny was a big one. To slow down G2 in that round. To ultimately set up Shopify for that retake. So, lighter buy here between G2. Shopify are going to be looking to get on the 6 here as you kind of expect them to.
Yeah, G2. I mean, I think on the attack, you could overwhelm just a little bit more. Just, again, just try to get that Sage wall up. Let's try to get that plant down. Just this one mission over towards B. It is going to be stifled by only 1 player, but again, it's just the one. However, Mata. This is a player that, again, faltered a little bit in the first 2 weeks of this season. Even though the record of their team don't really reflect it, a lot of the mistakes and a lot of the mentality issues that this guy might have had, a lot of it is gone.
Guaranteeing the Hunter Sphere for the next round. If you get to kill here, then when you come in for a post plan, upset the round. Oxy putting fire, and that I think guarantees the plant here. And not just yet, actually, the swarms, the pressure, pushing Penny off the plant. And Oxy needs a big shot.
Oxy lining up against Vic. Oh, Moose actually gives him a bit of a surprise, peeking out. And Vic is just going in for sprays through the wall. Easy 2K from him. Can just continue to farm. Shopify doing exactly that. Mata already had so many kills the round before. Tantalizingly close already to the lockdown. G2, after an investor flawless, will have their buyback.
Shazam does get that Hunter's Fury online. E-Dog playing with the Sage Res. What are G2 looking to do here? I think similar issues that they're having now were what Shopify had in their first half. Not a lot of map control. Again, it was a lot of blank hits in the sense that they didn't have anything to go off of. It was just Shopify trying to make execs work without establishing any map control. And it is hard on the attack to establish that control. That's why you kind of see repetition hitting the A site over and over again or making late B hits. This time they will try to work for something here on Icebox, at least towards B main.
This is tough over towards mid. Shopify. Nobody had a contact on them. They do just hard clear. Readjusting positions now. No one needed to watch over tunnel. The Hollow drone actually gets canceled out early.
Yeah, it doesn't catch anyone. I think the pressure towards B is what takes him off of it. And now the A
It's
site
4 players.
severely weakened. Oxy's here alone. He's good enough to sell a fake by himself. You see this guy, you expect the hit to be there.
Instantly dashes back. Should be a player Snowman there to try to stop it, but no. Nobody peeking out. B-Dog, B-Dog, the only player that could be able to stop this. He gets nothing.
They might get here. They might get Oxy, but Oxy's wary that they could make this mid-rotate. So aware of it that he gets on top and might take them both, but only gets one.
Almost a
Hunter's
flawless
Fury,
spot.
Not in the safest spot. So they're going to have Whippy re-clear, but they can play the Hunter's Fury post lane, leaving just one guy on site, that being Penny. And Nanoswarms as well available.
Nanoswarms are there. Vic does at least clear out one of them. That's a big kill on the Penny. Still a little bit more to go. The Nanoswarm, the last Nanoswarm on site, getting popped. Shazam still has the Hunter's Fury. Dapper is up on pipes, but he gets taken down by Dazzle. Dazzle hunting. Shazam is going to have to be forced to utilize his Hunter's Fury. Whippy, however, with a big kill. Shazam waiting for the opportunity, waiting for the tick, but it's not going to happen. Shopify, they don't even get to bait the Hunter's Fury.
Saving it as well for the next. And Vic going down. There's plenty of money for Shopify to indulge themselves another buy with. But that's a big round. G2 finding some footing back and edging closer to closing out this map is probably the bigger worry in that round. I think it happens where Shopify get caught up in the rotate. But with this scoreline, there's more pressure applied to them. And G2 are taking this time out to figure out what did we do right in that round that allowed us to get onto the A site. How did we win that round? Because now you've got to repeat that. And I think that's what G2 are looking to do here.
Again, we were talking about potentially some of the, and this is in our earlier set, some of the gaps in initiation for these comps. And we might see it soon for G2. Or again, not much pop potential, no flash potential really. Shopify definitely didn't take advantage of that in that first half, but for G2, where they are struggling to at least get that spike down, just that Sage Wall isn't enough.
Turret out.
Vicky will have his null command. That'll make retakes a little bit easier. If he gets close enough, prevent Shazam from popping the Hunter's Fury. Again, 2 rounds left for G2 to close out this map. Again, if you are Shopify, letting one round when you win 4 in a row is not a big deal. But with this scoreline, on this track record, G2 will reach match or map point before Shopify can find 11 themselves. It's another slow round from G2. Probably another blank exec where they're just going to walk in dry, contact up. Pop plan to be here seems to be the call.
With a slow walk up. No contact is going to be had until a player from G2 pretty much steps into the middle of B. It's going to be a very, very long rotation from the Sage and the Sova. Mata, though.
Lockdown for Dapper. He's going to use this for the
Mata has
postman as
one
well in a second.
Nanoswarm to try to counter this. There goes the owl. There goes the wall. Mata trying to stop it. Doesn't pull out the Nanoswarm. It's going to be planted. It's going to be a 5v5.
Lockdown here for Dapper. When does this one get called in? It does. Right before the null command comes out. Perfect timing to waste time on the KO null command and to force these players out of sight. And they can reassume positions when this wall goes back up, because you can see how far it pushed Vic. Whitby wanted to throw the wall, but he goes down instead.
Oh, that's a massive kill. And look who's fighting him. Look who's fighting him. It's Shazam. Shazam has the Hunter's Theory. The Hunter's Theory gets utilized. He's hunting, but again, he could absolutely still shut down the spike. There goes the defuse. The Hunters should be coming in. Where is it? Where is it? Finally, there it is. Shazam pulls out the ultimate, and he's still covering up the spike, and he actually does get the kill on the Mata. The defuse will go down, but oh my goodness!
In all the commotion and in all the chaos, you can't hear the spike and no one gets on it in time.
Thank you.
That lockdown, I think, is what wins them this round. Buys them plenty of time. Keeps the
Admittedly, I
Milkman
have
from
a
getting any
headphone
impact. And
Clutch.
G2, or apologies, Shopify not sparing enough time, and G2 just getting away. And it's big, because it's got 12 rounds on the board for G2.
Again, it was just that one win condition that could have been taken away the round before. Shopify. Oh, baby. Big shot from B-Dog, finally. I mean, this is it, really. Shopify, no opportunities to be able to heat up even when they have good rounds, even when they have big advantages. They just can't control. Here we go again. G2, they flip an advantage in their direction. 4v5 now, make it a 4v4. Dazzle does take one back. Dapper looking for a pick, back over towards mid. The Lightning Fingy's doing it. Dapper with a big kill on to Dazzle. And there's still two ready to go for Shopify over in Rafter.
Moose catching Eddie with the snake bite, and now it's starting to crumble.
No way.
Shazam is going to be left in a clutch. 1 versus 2. Recombo might get some information, but he doesn't know. Knows where one is. The high-low setup, but only one peeking. And now Shazam has to transfer. But Shopify keeping G2 off of the map.
G2 were so desperate for that too. They got the revive up in heaven. They evaded any sort of trade setup. They even got the advantage back in their favor.
Turret out.
All that was left again was that Shopify response, an immediate swing out of Rafter. Now back down to the SMGs. We're finally seeing the players from Shopify we wanted to see pop up just a little bit more this game. Players like Vic, players like Moose.
Snake bite, or apologies, Viper's Pit gets popped. Moose is going to charge up here with a shotgun. No. We'll take a high ground position where he's going to look down, try and find anything off the shorty. See what is available to him. But, I mean, G2 with the lesser guns, I don't think this is a site you want to approach, an area of the map you want to try and claim control back. See what picks you can find. And there was one that did present itself. Dazzle's head nearly gets ripped off. G2, I think poking this Viper's Pit is the wrong idea. It is almost a guaranteed loss. But you know the other site you go to is going to be stacked with players and stacked with probably KJ Util.
Should be the other player ready too. Should only be a 2-man coverage over towards B, and they do get the contact. The op of B-Dog spots one heaven, doesn't get the kill though, and yet another shot that goes awry.
30 seconds left.
There's Dapper with the frag onto B-Dog. The op is down. 2 players still in the back of sight. Nay. And Shopify, they want this round to say the least. 20 seconds left, and they pull at the lockdown. That pulls G2 back towards their spawn, and they're still going to try this.
This is a big round for G2, pulling 2 ultimates in kind of just an eco round. I think regardless of the result, you have to be happy, and they're still getting on the site. They're winning these fights. 4 seconds left. Gets down just
right in front of
time, but he does get canceled. Vic finds that kill, but wow, a huge round for G2.
Remaining.
The buy for Shopify still should be fine, and indeed it is all good. But yeah, definitely didn't expect that one. G2 just making it look entertaining for now. Thought that some of those extra kills might have been good for guns.
2 ultimates getting taken away between Moose and Mata, and a round where they didn't really invest anything.
The Mata ultimate, yeah, that's crazy.
Turret out.
Now
At least made him react.
About that. They've got their own lockdown. They've got their own Viper's Pit to play with here. G2, a lot of weapons to close out this map here.
They don't even need to make their way onto a site. Again, it's just getting that lockdown, getting to a midway spot where you can pull off the Viper's Pit.
Shopify pulled away instantly. They know the lockdown's going to come through here. And they're just trying to play retake.
The knife mid. At least assuming that no one's going to be towards that side. But again, they still need to clear out these nano swarms. Still need to clear out this util. Oh my goodness! A molly alongside. Oh my goodness! The shock dart chasing him too. They could still plant, surely. They don't have the mollies to actually stop it this time. Actually, the nade.
They're fighting.
To be able to do
fighting.
something. But the Viper's Pit, they have to fight. They have to push him back towards the back of sight. But this is actually working out.
Mata's just holding for any nest peek on 34 HP. The spike cannot go down safely.
Ooh.
Oxy just getting spammed. And everyone here on G2 slows down. What's cooking? No one's
Dapper.
on a fight. Dapper finds Mata.
Left.
He was on low HP. But look at the positioning of Vic and Moose. A great crossfire for wherever the plant wants to go.
They tried to clear the back of sight, but again, with an alarm bot, they
That's
don't need
it,
to care.
baby.
The spray goes in. The Viper is not down, and neither is Dapper. Ultimate still very much up. Shopify up against a brick wall. There goes the Sage Wall, getting the revive on Vic. But this position for Oxy is crazy.
Wait. This just makes the retake so much harder. This wall
Absolutely. Are they even going to clear it? Oh! They clear it, but Oxy's still alive. Still 3-on-3, needing to get a kill.
Dapper!
Going nuts, getting to B-Dog. Now the last one remaining in a 1v2. Dapper, Whippy, both far away. Oh! The shotgun almost getting the double pump. But Whippy does get the kill in the end. G2 complete the first map.
And it was close. It was close from Shopify. They had some semblance of a comeback in that second half on their defending side. And, you know, I was looking at this map and I'm like, there's just no semblance of Shopify on this attacking side. It felt like it was a shell of them, like they weren't even playing. But there on that second half, they came alive. They had a better game plan, in my opinion. I think that's what they relied on with this map pick, is our defensive side is really strong. But when the margin is that great, at 10-2, letting any round slip could almost mean catastrophe for that side that's down.
But again, Shopify, they just have to rest on the fact that their first half just can never be enough for you to realistically win a game. That is a massive comeback for you to be able to make. And the fact that they were able to fight that much in the second half, I mean, at this point, it's really just like a pat on the back. It's just consolation points. Really, Shopify, they can't be getting into that form late in the game.
Attackers win.
Yeah, well, hey, there's an opportunity coming up next. Split is a map where, again, G2 play it on, Shopify haven't. There are some gaps to be filled, so let's see what happens. It's G2's map pick coming up next, right after the break.